It's a call for action, a call that not just congressional public hearings, but congressional action to close this federal loophole once and for all.
Tonight, we're learning more about the steps Congress is taking to ensure another illegal lab like the one found in Reedley never happens again. Today, local leaders revealed a House Select Committee on China issued a subpoena to the city of Reedley to learn more about the illegal operation. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for Action News Live at 6. I'm Dale Uron.
And I'm Margot Kim. Action News reporter Brianna Willis has been tracking the discovery of the lab and its aftermath. She joins us tonight in the studio with more about the subpoena and how our local government agencies are responding. Brianna?
Well, Dale, Margot, while they can't reveal all details about the subpoena, Reedley City Manager says 3 people from the committee came to Reedley last week for any and all documents relating to the illegal lab. Both city and county officials say they welcome the investigation but want federal legislation. And until then, they will take steps now locally to provide oversight.
I have been served with a congressional subpoena, very happily served with a congressional subpoena, because what that means is that Congress is taking us seriously, and bipartisan Congress is taking us seriously.
Exactly 1 week ago, members from the House Select Committee on China issued a congressional subpoena to the city of Reedley.
By issuing a subpoena, they are able to access documents that the city has that would not be disclosable otherwise during an investigation.
Through a green garden hose at the end of last year, officials found illegal COVID and pregnancy tests, refrigerators filled with chemicals and human blood, and just under 1,000 mice.
We agree there is a gap here in our national laboratory security, and we need to address that. How we do that, we want to be at the table as a solution.
The congressional attorneys did not subpoena the Fresno County Department of Public Health, but both Director David Lucchini and Assistant Director Joe Prado met with the representatives to discuss their experiences and potential solutions.
A couple of areas we wanted them to address at a national level are areas with regulations of labs, looking at how public labs are regulated to how private labs, especially research and development labs, are regulated.
There's an infrastructure in place in every state in the United States, and so that is an opportunity there. There is specific language in the Code of Federal Regulations that excludes research lab. Let's delete that paragraph.
Until a federal fix can be implemented, both the city of Reedley and the county of Fresno are working on temporary legislation for private research labs.
So in the meantime, the city just last night did pass an ordinance that puts a temporary moratorium on any labs coming into town that have anything to do with human infectious diseases.
Adding they will amend their zoning code so they know what businesses are coming in and out of the city. And the county also plans to introduce an ordinance to the board in the next couple of months.
The Department of Public Health would do annual inspections, and we're going to be evaluating the environmental controls that are in place, that should be in place for a biosafety lab 2, 3, 4, whatever that may be.
Prado says they will also look at permits and protocols research labs have in place. They expect the full report from the subpoena in about 1 to 2 weeks. And Chief Administrative Officer Paul Nerlin adding they hope change will come.
It is expected that this review will not just bring looking at this, but actual oversight of privately funded research labs into sharp focus.
And Ziva also says as far as removing the rest of the chemicals from the building, the FDA was on site today to help with destroying some of the COVID and pregnancy tests. It is also important to note the city of Fresno is having its second reading of an infectious disease lab ordinance at tomorrow's council meeting. If passed, it will go into effect 30 days after approval. In studio, Brianna Willis, ABC 30 Action News.